Lightning strikes, but not from the skies. This is the thunder of tanks, the roar of aircraft, and the march of soldiers. This is Blitzkrieg, the lightning war that, in just 6 weeks, forced Europe's most powerful army to surrender. In 1940, as Europe stood on the brink of yet another devastating conflict, Germany unleashed a military strategy so revolutionary that it changed the face of warfare forever. And within days, France, one of the mightiest armies in the world, was brought to its knees. Today, we dive into the story of Operation Blitzkrieg, the electrifying military campaign that took the world by storm. The story begins in September 1938 with a meeting between Britain, France, Italy, and Germany, famously known as the Munich Conference. Why did this meeting take place? To put a stop to Germany's growing ambitions. By this time, Hitler had fully consolidated his power over Germany. After annexing Austria, his next target was Czechoslovakia. Britain and France were eager to avoid war, so they offered Hitler a deal. He could take over the German-speaking part of Czechoslovakia. Despite agreeing at the conference, Hitler violated the promise and, by March 1939, had taken control of the entire Czechoslovakia. Hitler's next target was Poland. Britain and France issued a stark warning. If Germany invaded Poland, they would declare war. But Hitler, unconcerned, launched an attack on Poland in September 1939, with only its southern region falling into German hands. Just 16 days later, the Soviet Union invaded Poland's eastern region, a shocking revelation of a secret pact between the two nations. And so, war between Britain, France, and Germany was inevitable. But here's the surprising part. Despite all the talk about the mighty German war machine, historians tell us that Germany was actually in a weak position before its conflict with France. The German invasion of Poland had left many of its tanks and ground vehicles damaged, and its soldiers exhausted. Germany's military relied on horses for transportation, with only 10% of their army using motorized trucks. In contrast, France's army was highly trained, well-equipped with artillery, and had 3,000 tanks stationed at the northeast German border. It was the best-trained army in Europe. But despite having the upper hand, the French made a critical mistake. They didn't attack. Instead, they dug into underground bunkers, hoping their defensive strategy would keep the Germans from advancing. But the Germans had other plans. Rather than attacking France head-on, Germany targeted Denmark and Norway. Britain sent troops to aid Norway, but the Luftwaffe, Germany's air force, overwhelmed the British forces, forcing them to retreat. Norway fell, leaving both France and Britain embarrassed. This failure was so significant that Britain's Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain, had to resign, making way for Winston Churchill. May 10, 1940, as Churchill became Britain's new Prime Minister, Germany launched its next move. They attacked Belgium and Holland, creating chaos. But here's where the story takes a dramatic twist. While France and Britain focused their defense on Belgium, a strange military traffic jam was spotted heading towards the Ardennes region, south of Belgium. This heavily forested, mountainous terrain stretched all the way into France. French intelligence reported that German tank battalions were advancing through the Ardennes, but General Maurice Gamelin, France's commander-in-chief, dismissed it as a rumor. He couldn't believe Germany could launch a second offensive while fighting in Belgium and Holland. This miscalculation proved to be disastrous. In just 3 days, German forces crossed rivers, forests, and mountains, advancing deep into France. French forces were trapped, with 60,000 soldiers, 22,000 vehicles, and 850 tanks encircled. The speed of the attack left France with no time to counterattack. Even when they had the opportunity to strike back, The permission to attack had to come from the commander-in-chief, who was in Paris and didn't even have a telephone at his desk. The Germans moved so fast that they reached the city of Sedan within 2 days, a distance the French thought would take them 2 weeks to cover. It was unbelievable, but it happened. The secret behind this incredible speed? Germany's secret weapon, a drug called Pervitin. Developed by the Berlin drug company Temmler, this drug was distributed to German soldiers like candy, allowing them to stay awake and active for long periods. It made them fearless, emotionless, and laser-focused on their mission. As German forces advanced, French Prime Minister Paul Reynaud accepted defeat, telling Churchill over the phone, "We have lost the war." But Churchill refused to give up. He rushed to Paris, trying to rally the French, but it was too late. The Blitzkrieg had shattered France's defenses. Despite this, the German army didn't push for complete victory. In an unexpected move, Hitler ordered his forces to halt. Why? Because Hermann Göring, head of the Luftwaffe, wanted the glory of defeating the Allied forces for his air force, not the army. But Göring's plan backfired, allowing the British Royal Air Force to rescue their troops from the beaches of Dunkirk. Yet, by this point, Paris had fallen, and France was defeated. The Blitzkrieg, the lightning-fast military strategy combining Air Force, Army, and Navy, had proven unstoppable. Experts believe France's defeat was due to its outdated World War I-style thinking, while Germany had learned from its previous losses and evolved with new strategies. And there you have it, the lightning war that redefined military history. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from history. See you in the next episode.